Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 1, Episode 14, The Blair Witch Project. If this is your first time checking out the podcast channel, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And don't forget to join our Discord. All links can be found in the description. And as Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast. So what you saw on the Horrorcast, you will be hearing here. And don't forget to join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network. With that said, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
See the fucking map! Where's the map?
Wait, save it.
Where's
Joshua Leonard's just going to be there.
Are we live?
That's what we're live means.
Oh, that's what that was? I apologize. I got lightheaded.
One, two,
boom. Oh, restarted. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies of the past every Monday at 8 p.m. here on Twitch. Thank you so much for coming in. Today, we have Mr. Jay McClintock. Jay, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing splendid.
Excellent. I think I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Duck. I've been drinking just a little bit, so I will be your host here. I also have Mr. Jacob Pinkston. Jacob, how are you doing today, sir?
Give me the map, Scott!
Yes, give me the goddamn map. Lots of yelling in this movie.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm ready to talk about this.
And I hope ready to yell, too, because there was a lot of yelling in this movie. There's going to be a lot of yelling during this cast. We also have Miss Lynsey Hale. Lynsey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. First time on the cast. We're super excited to have you here. This was your recommendation, I believe. Is that correct?
It was a few months ago, yeah.
Excellent. And I'm so excited that we watched it. I love this movie personally, but we'll get into that. Next, we have Ethan Eastwood. Ethan, how are you doing tonight, sir? Drinking that coffee?
I was doing fine until I had to sit and watch this movie.
What? What are you talking about, good sir? I sat there and watched this movie on the couch with you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it was a good day. I was working on D&D shit. I was doing laundry, and then would you look at that? It's time for Blair Witch. Sit down, watch that. Yeah, no, that's a no from me, dog.
You just don't understand.
We'll get into it.
Finally, we have Mr. William Sanamo. Will, where you at? Uh-oh. In a Zoom meeting. There he is.
Oh, yeah. Knew it.
What you can't see, people listening to the podcast, is he's doing the classic I'm so scared. I'm so sorry. Which she never says, by the way. I really thought she said I'm so scared, and I think it was in the parody movie, Scary Movie, that they do that bit. She says, I'm so sorry. All right.
Guys.
What's up? How are you doing?
Good. I'm fighting wires now.
Look at that. You got like a little, in a Zoom meeting, you got a little thing all around you. That's cool.
Yeah, I have filters.
Nice.
I'm a very fancy boy.
Nicely done. All right, everyone, let's talk about our history with this movie. Let's start with Lynsey, seeing as you recommended this. Why is this like one of your favorite movies of all time?
Actually, no. I recommended it because I had never watched it before and I wanted to watch it.
Oh, right on. So this is your first time watching it.
So my history with it dates back to Saturday and my couch.
And David didn't watch it with you. He can't watch this movie, right?
No, he sat on the couch and played on his phone while I watched it and, made some comments of things that he thought that he had read on Wikipedia and shit a while back. But,
Why can't he watch it?
Because,
the shaky cam?
Yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah.
He's never seen the awesomeness that is Cloverfield?
Or Hardcore Henry.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, that would mess him up bad.
But you definitely have to blame this movie for that. Going back, I mean, the first found footage movie, was it Cannibal Holocaust? Does that sound right, Jay? Do you think?
There's a couple of other ones before Cannibal Holocaust that weren't quite as widespread, but Cannibal Holocaust is definitely the one that I would say inspired this one the most.
Right. So, Jay, what's your history with this movie? Did you see this bad boy in theaters?
So I got a couple of visual aids. I'm not as cool with
visual aids.
I'm not as cool with the bringing in pictures and everything like everybody else, but like
he's the carrot top of our
sure. If you look at it, this is the original movie poster that you saw like in the theaters and whatnot.
Yeah, it's pulling a Wilson Hama right there with the face underneath.
but for me, in my senior year in high school, I was very disconnected from media in general, and because I was big into church, and so I hung out with my church friends a lot, and literally that's what I did. And so I literally didn't know anything about this movie, but I did, however, have a subscription to Fangoria magazine, and so it was July '99, and the 185 came out, Fangoria 185, and some of y'all might remember this, but this was the actual back cover of that issue, and this is the first poster I ever saw. It's hard to see, but it's very negative. It's black and white, and and Jake, you and I talked a little bit about the Tales from the Dark Side opening, and it really reminded me a lot of that. And I at first was like, oh, okay, that's a pretty cool idea for a movie, and then like I literally looked at this poster. 2 days later, the Sci-Fi Channel came out with Curse of the Blair Witch, and then I watched that, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is real. This is totally real. I actually got on the phone with my best friend at the time. We were both, obviously, like I said, big in the church. We prayed on the phone together.
You prayed for the souls of the 3 dead people?
We prayed that people wouldn't lose their mind watching this movie. But then, like I found out a little bit later that it was fake, and I was like, well, I'm going to go see it. And I caught a lot of shit at church for it.
Oh my God. I'm so happy I started, or secondly, with you, because that is an amazing story, dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Jake, you saw this surely in theaters also. Is that correct?
Yeah, whenever it first came out, I was 17. I could go see R-rated movies.
Fuck
Definitely.
yeah. So did you think it was real?
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody thought whenever it first came out. Like, that was what it was led to believe. That's how they built it. This is found footage. Nobody knows what happened to these kids. And, man, watching it, I was like, this is kind of scary, but it's kind of boring at the same time.
What?
Yeah.
Boring?
Yeah, that was even on the first watching. I mean, I'll give it it was a little scary, but I mean, I don't know. I don't see the.
Oh man, I bought in hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
So yeah, my history with. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I was skeptical, but I just didn't know. But we were led to believe that it was real. So.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about was everything online. There was a website that was created for this that made it look real. And they sold this. They had like specials in the Sci-Fi Channel and something else that was like Curse of the Blair Witch, which was a documentary that actually showed like the history of the Blair Witch. And it talked about the 3 kids who went into the woods recently, and they built it up like it was a real thing. So we thought it was real. So we're like, well, we got to go to theaters to see what happened to these kids. Fucking idiots. Like, would they put that in theaters? There's no way they would, but I had to. Oh, you have it. Yeah. Yes, they have it on YouTube. That is awesome. Will has an actual copy of the VHS with it. Yeah, so we went to theaters to see it, me and Ben, and who was my best friend, and just went in there and were freaked out the whole time. And I think we were the only 2 people in the theater, so it was kind of what I wanted to recreate for Ethan today, watching it, where you just feel like this is the most intense, scary thing. And like we were feeding off each other's energy the whole time. And by the end of the movie, we were just like done. Will,
you must have seen it a little bit later then, because like when
we saw it like opening day.
Wow, because here in Dallas, you couldn't find a ticket. It was sold out everywhere. I saw it at the Inwood. You realize where I'm the last 2 tickets.
Where I'm from is basically the Blair Witch. You know that, right?
I saw it at East Chase at 3:00 on a Wednesday afternoon, and it was fucking completely packed. I don't even know how me and my buddies got seat.
So you're saying there was this was like a real blockbuster. There were lines of people.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge blockbuster.
Damn. All right, Will, what's your history with this movie?
I saw it at East Chase at like 3:00 on a Wednesday. No joke. Same theater, I guarantee you.
Wait, what? You're saying you were at the same showing?
I mean, I don't know if
probably like 3 rows back from Jake.
But yeah, I saw it in the theater. I bought into it. I went by myself. It is a boring movie, but the reason it's boring is because we know the truth about it. Right. When you go in and you watch this, you're watching a documentary, and that is what creates the tension. So when the tension's broken because it's fake, then yeah, it's a boring movie. But it's one of the classics in my opinion, even though it's not that old, because it sparked so many other great things.
It changed.
Yeah, I totally went to that East Chase theater, so that's kind of funny. What if we were in the same one?
Oh, dude, that would be crazy. What if like you? Oh, never mind. Ethan, you have not seen this before. This was your first viewing of it. I made sure all the lights were out. I made sure that you pumped up the music, or not the sound. There's really no music in this movie. Ethan, what do you think?
I
Really?
mean, it was tense all the way through. Like, I was buying into it. The more we went, it felt like a real student project. A bunch of these college kids trying to make a horror documentary on this spooky legend of the Blair Witch. That was all really convincing until they started fighting and arguing and being just dumb fucking idiots. That took me that I couldn't hold my suspension of disbelief because of what they were arguing about and what they were doing just made no sense to me. And by the end of the movie, I was really just like, okay, this is going to be worth it. We're going to get one quick cut of whatever this Blair Witch thing is, some scary mask, some scary monster, some dude, or I don't know, whatever the fuck it is.
You get a dude
He's standing in the corner. He plays into the legend. She gets dragged off. Credits roll.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, no spoilers there. Everyone's seen the movie.
I think the
pretty much.
scariest person in this movie was Mary Brown, honestly.
Oh my God, she was terrifying.
Yeah.
Lynsey, you were at least there for the history of this. You saw how big of an event it was, and I think that's what Ethan's missing out on it. Like, everyone was talking about the Blair Witch back in the day. What kept you from watching it up until now?
Okay, so I would have been like 14 when it came out, and I was terrified after seeing like the previews on TV. And like I didn't really watch a lot of horror movies growing up, and I think I remember seeing like The Ring in theaters with my high school boyfriend at the time, and that was like my first like horror movie in theaters.
Right. Yeah, that I would have been done too, because The Ring scares me to this day. Like, seriously. So you are a big no-go on this, and for the last 20 years, 21 years, whatever, 22 now, I guess. You just said no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, and actually, I wanted to watch it because I'm a high school theater teacher, and every year at Halloween, I do a storytelling unit, and it always ends with the kids writing their own urban legends. And so we go through like elements of urban legends, and I actually found the beginning clip, where they're interviewing the people about how they've all experienced, or how they're involved with the Blair Witch legend, or how they've heard about it or whatever. And so I showed like a little bit of that, and I was like, see, this is how urban legends are perpetuated. And so I was like, I really like I can handle it. I've watched much worse. I live with Dave. Like, I want to watch it now. So that's what started all this.
But you're right. That's what people don't realize, and that's kind of why I want to talk to you about that. And Ethan, this movie had such an impact on culture at the time in 1999. And good, Will.
I have a question for Ethan.
Sure.
What do you feel about Paranormal Activity?
I have not seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
So,
because I assumed because Paranormal Activity is kind of your generation's Blair Witch, I feel.
Yes, I agree with that.
People bought into the hype. They really pushed the whole narrative of it being real. So I was curious if maybe that hit you a little more. But...
Has anyone seen The Fourth Kind?
Oh, I love that.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, that one. See, I thought that took the Blair Witch process even further, because in that one they got clever. In that one they said, "Oh, this is just a movie we're doing, but at the same time we're going to show side by side the real footage to what we did." And Sean Trainer got for literally a month, and he like argued with me that it was real, and I was like, no, it's clever, but it's not. But I thought that one was
a separate set of actors.
That was pretty clever.
Oh yeah, it was.
That was pretty clever.
Duck is scared as shit of this fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I don't want to watch it. And somebody actually said that we're going to watch that sometime in the future. I am literally... Isn't that your pick? What was your pick for your movie coming around, Jake? Is it going to be an alien movie of some sort? Wasn't it? It was going to be...
I want to drag me to hell. Oh, no, Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. That's the one you want to
I remember that one.
Because aliens freak me out. But I was talking about the cultural significance of this movie, because we see even now what this movie was able to do, because there really wasn't a found footage movie that came around for a long time. Like we said, Cannibal Holocaust, then there might have been stuff here and there. This movie reignited, if not downright recreated the found footage, and then we end up getting things that we talked about already, like Cloverfield, Wreck, Hardcore Henry, just tons and tons of found footage movies. What's the one with the kids that have superpowers? You know what I'm talking about? Chronicle.
Yes.
All this stuff comes out, and then even George Romero does his own version of that with Diary of the Dead. And so the one thing that we always have trouble with these movies is they become vlog movies. And this movie handles that better than any other film I think has ever taken on this genre of found footage. I think that it constantly brings up, why are you holding the camera? And it answers the question, this is why I'm holding the camera, up until the point where Heather says, it's all I have left. So that's why I believe this movie works so well, is because it sells the idea that they will continue to film this entire experience. Go ahead, Jake.
I think the interviewees really sold the whole the beginning of it. Just the real story. The actors that they got for that seemed totally genuine. They seemed like people off the street. And as far as I know, they were just actually natural actors or whatever. Yeah. But whenever they're telling the stories of it, I think it just really worked to sell the whole, this is lost footage. This was supposed to be a documentary.
Right. And the little kid picking its nose and eating the boogers. I was like,
the little girl telling the mom to stop when she starts talking about the Blair Witch also. She's like, I'm just telling a scary story. It's not real. Yeah.
Well, it actually caused quite a stir with like the police too, because
what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because at film festivals, they were handing out missing posters of all the actors during the film festival to everyone who's at a film festival. They don't even know that this is a movie. Like, it's just one movie playing out of, hundreds of movies. People are like, man, this is really sad. Why are we just hearing about this? Furthermore, if you went to the IMDb page, all the actors in this movie were all considered missing. Like, they really doubled down on surprising everybody as much as possible. And
how long did they wait till they
3 days? It was 3 days.
It was,
I thought it went longer.
I watched something earlier. They said it was 3 days. The reason why, there was a top executive at one of the movie studios who was kidnapped, and they thought it was disrespectful, so they removed all that, and then they came out. And then Heather was actually on Craig Kilburn back when he had the Daily Show. She did an interview with that. So pretty quickly they debunked it, but not before the hype train was rolling downhill already. Huge. And it was, I mean, like you said, Jay, you prayed, for everyone, but that's the kindness of like people like wanting the right thing to happen. Being raised Christian, I understand that. Like, but also is the Maccabee idea of like, let's go see how they died. Come on now, like it's kind of sick. Lynsey, I wanted to ask, how is the acting? What's that? Macabre. That's what I meant to say. Alcohol. And I'm dumb. Lynsey, the acting from your standpoint, was it good? Do you think? You said that you train people to act.
Okay, I train high schoolers to
act. Like these guys are barely removed from high schoolers. Yeah, they were basically. That's the thing Ethan said. He was like, these really are college kids, aren't they? And which is fucked up, because watching it as a kid, I remember thinking these fuckers are so old. and now I'm like, oh, they're just babies. Yeah. But do you think the acting was good?
So I think it's believable for what they're going for. Like I was reading a thing earlier that said the script is 35 pages and a lot of the dialogue is improvised.
Right.
And so I think, somebody earlier was talking about, I think it was Ethan, saying that they're just like yelling at each other, and like a lot of the dialogue is dumb. But if you have the untrained people, just and even if they're experienced improvisers, they may not be like amazing actors. So if they're just going off of beats, like that could be the reason why it's not like amazing dialogue or acting, because
if you read
like, we're in the woods.
Chat,
what do we do now?
Yeah, for real.
I think you also have to realize that this movie came out at a time when we were all super saturated with the real world. So we're used to seeing, these people have these, fights on TV, and, their acting wasn't that great. And I didn't know at the time that it wasn't more scripted on those shows. So I think it kind of fed off that a little bit too, especially the real world. I think it borrowed a lot from that, from the little bickerings that go on in that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dave Jessup said Sean also thought Steve Awesome was real.
Dave fooled a lot of people. He fooled Todd Glass. That was one of the greatest ruses ever. Top five moment ever in comedy.
He's the Andy Kaufman of our 6 people.
Andy Kaufman.
What they did with this is they gave them direct they would bring them rations, the director, and this is how they filmed. Basically they sent them out into the woods. They said, here's GPS coordinates, we want you to show up at this spot. They gave them just enough food to get through the day. It was just enough so they weren't starved, but not enough that they wouldn't be hungry. So they were always just a little bit on edge. You can see that as the movie begins. They were like they're all rambunctious and ready to go, and you can see slowly, pretty quickly actually, they start to deteriorate, and then that's when the fighting happens. And so they're exhausted. They're hiking 15 hours a day to different locations. They made sure they spread them out, and they would come in occasionally to give them directions. And the way they would do that, they would say, listen, we need you to make sure you hit these beats during the day, but this is your packet, this is your packet, this is your packet. So these are the things we want you to do. These are the conversations we want you to have. Somebody's going to be mad at you. You're allowed to be mad at them, or somebody's going to be mad at you. You got to act like you don't understand why. And so it was pretty much total improv. And then they would just stay far enough away that they could come in if they needed to, make sure they were okay, leave again, and then mess with them at night. And that was like basically the process of this movie. And they never went back and refilmed anything. So basically everything that they caught the initial run of the movie is what you see in the movie. So I think
it kind of forced them to method act throughout this whole movie.
Oh yeah, they were hired based upon it. The girl Heather they basically made her pretend like she was a parolee, and she had to make a case for why she wasn't supposed to be on, in jail anymore. And based upon the fact that she was able to sell them on that, they hired her. So they made sure that they hired people they knew that could improv enough that they could get through it. So yeah, it's an interesting way to make a film, and the fact that this was a student film, you know what I mean? Like, these were college kids, and they made this movie for like $60,000, I think, and this movie made $250 million. That's insanity, absolutely insanity. And based upon, we all have memories of it being this big event when we were younger, and that's why I said that's what I'm saying to Ethan, like, you had to experience how much of this was part of the zeitgeist for a period of time. It was insane.
I'm trying to figure out though, where did that 60,000 go?
Do you know if it was actually 60,000 to make the movie, or including marketing?
Marketing, it's about 200,000, 250,000.
So Wikipedia says between 100 to 200,000, but that was probably with marketing. Might have been more. I've read other places it was like 25 million in marketing.
About $100-200 so you can get a nice tent, a couple good backpacks, and then the rest.
Well, you got to realize too, the equipment, that camera equipment is expensive, dude. That's $19.99 to be carrying that stuff around. That costs a lot.
What now?
Yeah, exactly, and you can get some more. No, that's the thing, is this movie we can make today on our phones, but back then they had to be carrying around all this crazy equipment.
Jessup's got something to chime in with in the chat. He said they did reshoot the ending with different shots of Mike hanging, but ended up keeping the original shot with him in the corner.
You know what? If Jessup has things to say, he could have been on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
What the?
Well, Dave,
is he about to bust into that room?
He probably is. Let me yell at him.
Camera's not shaking now, Dave.
Let's all just hold our cameras as we talk to him.
I think he really secretly does want to be on this.
Aw.
Well, he can
It's
jump
your
in.
show, Lynsey.
I know.
No, yeah. We want you here instead of him anyway.
Yeah. Wait, but he can jump in.
I like your background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Such a
which
stark-
door?
Soothing. Yeah, I don't see any creepy dolls.
It's a stark contrast to David Jessup's usual backdrop.
That's all right. He calls you Ian all the time, so it's
I
not a
know.
big deal.
Fair trade-off.
So what do you guys think? The movie itself, Jake, you were saying earlier, pretty boring. Do you? Yeah, you stick to it. Not a lot happens, but I feel like a lot of interactions, microaggressions, and shit like that happen.
I've watched this movie so many times since it's come out, and yeah, that's why it's boring to me. The first couple times you watch it with people that haven't seen it before. It's fun, you get it. And even today, I still got those feelings like, okay, this is really well put together, and I'm starting to buy into it. But then there's certain parts it's just like, what's going on Reddit right now? Hold on, let me. I already knew what was coming up. I could hear them bickering in the background. I totally get why Mike was the way he was whenever he was like, I'm not going to have a job tomorrow because of this shit.
Yeah.
Right here. You lost us. I totally sided with Mike and Josh at the first time I saw it. I was like, just give them the fucking map. Why aren't you telling them the information? Why didn't you scout this location? And whenever he kicks it into the river, though, I'm just like, Mike, what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude?
what were you thinking?
That was one of the big problems I had with this.
I was like, what? Why? Okay.
Ethan was behind Mike like the whole time. He's like, Mike's right. Like
Up
Mike,
until he threw the map in the creek, I was like, man, Mike is the only sensible person out of these three people.
He was the biggest guy.
People.
He was the biggest guy, so he was probably the most hungry. So probably drove him to.
Yeah.
I'd kick that fucking map into the river.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hunger will make you do crazy things, guys.
but I mean, I thought he had a point. Ethan, you said earlier you had major issues with Heather. She was annoying you.
Very nice.
Is he shooting his movie?
What's funny is that like I have the headphones in, so he can't hear you guys' reaction.
Yeah,
Hey, they didn't laugh.
There you go. Boom. He's gonna.
He starts stomping around.
just shake the camera and he'll go away.
All right, Ethan, you said Heather was bothering you. I have thoughts on her. So what was bothering you?
Well, that's my second of three big issues I have with that. The map being the first is she is a complete bitch throughout this whole movie.
Bro,
She wants to get her movie done.
Clearly, she doesn't know how to be a good director. It's a little push and pull. You got to appease the crew a little bit, get them to stay with you, stay in character, and help you move the movie forward.
She probably likes that sex too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, her and Josh, they don't go into it in this movie, but her and Josh in the actual script have a backstory. They're exes. So they actually were together for a period of time. So I think that kind of builds into the tension a little. If you know that, you can kind of feel it a little bit because they have a closer relationship, but they start bickering and fighting quicker. Mike starts freaking out pretty quick, but they bicker and fight. As for Heather, as a person, I consider myself producer. I actually relate to her the entire time. So I know that she's trying to push forward the project. And I told Ethan that while we were watching, I was like, I see a lot of duck in her. So I can't be mad at the character.
The difference is, though, you would show the others the map.
Yeah,
and the
of course. Are you kidding me?
You would say, I don't know where the fuck we are.
She's a control freak.
I don't know how to read the map. Which way is north? Is that the W on the compass? Like, you would hopefully pull together some knowledge and figure out where you are.
What got me, though, is that whenever they shows where they parked on a road, and they kept walking down the road. I was like, well, why not just drive your car to the end of the location that you're getting to? You might be a little closer, but they parked way away, and then they keep walking down this road for some reason, and then it does a sharp cut, and they're in the woods all of a sudden. It's like, well, I don't know. You ever heard of Hansel and Gretel? Leave some fucking breadcrumbs. Get a fucking string, tie it up to your bumper. You don't even know what you're doing. At least give them that.
She didn't know what she was doing. I mean, she took the wrong path on the way there. I'm sorry, there's little kids outside my door like talking, and it's freaking me the fuck out because of the scene in the tent with the little kids. I'm not even lying. I walked out of my apartment. No, stop, please.
Yeah, are
please.
you hearing parenthesis eerie cackling?
Yeah, no, I walked out of my apartment earlier, and my upstairs neighbor literally walked by me, and I went, "Wah!" I freaked the fuck out, and he was just like, started laughing hysterically. I was like, "Dude, I've been watching horror movies all day. Please forgive me. Like, it's been a weird day." But like, yeah, it is. It's freaking me out. All right, let's talk about that though. We talked about the bickering. We talked about how things the tension builds though, and the tension builds and the tension builds. I think that works. What do you think, Will? As a person who loves horror movies, I don't know if this is a horror or a thriller. Do you think that it works with the tension building in this?
Yeah, I mean that's what the whole movie is, just a tension builder.
Yeah,
and an attention seeker.
Yeah, pressure.
But I mean, yeah, that's the point of it. Like the movie's not about scaring you; it's about making you feel like you're going to be scared.
Right. It's all, yeah, you're right. It's a pressure cooker. It's all just that build up to that reveal that doesn't happen. And that also having, I think the sound design works really well. And I think that's why watching it in a movie theater with surround sound, you could actually hear like the crackling of the tree branches, the shifting of the rocks, the children laughing in the background, and then whenever Josh starts screaming for help, it's coming from all over the place. The sound design was really, really good on this movie. Good.
For me, the slapping on the tent towards the end, whenever like they're in there for the final moment or one of the final nights that they're all three together, and the all hands come up and you see them slapping the tent from the outside, but whenever they went outside, there's nothing there. You know,
right.
It's just that was really cool. I thought.
Good, easy effect. Very good, easy effect.
Yeah.
Smart, very smart.
Yeah. Once again, where did the money go in this movie? just shake the tent.
Pay the people that slap the tent.
Well, I can tell you where some of the money went is like if you read on the Wikipedia page, it also tells you that by most standards, this is the first movie that got most of its marketing done through the internet. So as far as TV spots, they were there, but for the most part, I don't know about you guys, but like this is the first viral movie that was ever really made. And I'm talking even The Matrix didn't go viral like this one went viral on the internet. And so that's why it kind of spread.
You said you saw the Curse of the Blair Witch on Sci-Fi. That was back whenever it was SCI-FI, and they actually tried selling themselves as legitimate science fiction.
Absolutely. They did.
Speaking of which, did anyone watch any of that, or have they watched that before? The companion documentary, mockumentary about it. I remember watching it before I went to see the movie, and basically what it does is it acts like a History Channel documentary where it talks about the history of the Blair Witch and then it mixes in a little bit of talking about how these three kids went missing. So it plays it off as though it's real, and it does more interviews with locals. And as we know, the locals were kind of the big thing that sold this in the beginning. Like once they get into the woods, it's really just the pressure build of the characters being mad at each other. But the locals, I think, do sell it, especially the guys fishing. Like they were my favorite because they were the comic like relief of the movie. Because the one guy's like, "Oh, you're full of shit," and he's throwing the reel into there and stuff like that. I love that.
No, you're telling the legend wrong. It's like this.
That's not how it happened, you stupid kids. I absolutely. But Will, you've seen it before, surely. You have the VHS, right?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it well after I saw the movie, though. I didn't even know it existed until I couldn't afford cable. I don't know what you fucking.
Is there any specific scenes in this movie that you guys like? Jay, is there anything specifically that like really stuck with you over the years?
I honestly, I have to say it's more when you see the figures for the first time, the actual symbol. That's when I started being like, okay, now it's getting real. Yeah. Because I'll say unfortunately saw Curse of the Blair Witch before, and I think it kind of outdoes the movie in a lot of ways, which kind of sucks because I was expecting so much more. But when
are you talking about the parody movie, the Blair Witch?
No, Curse of the Blair Witch.
The documentary mockumentary.
Unfortunately, when I saw that first and then I saw this, I was like, oh, I was a little bit underwhelmed because that was really well done. But when you finally get to the symbols, that's when I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Lynsey, was there anything that stuck out to you? Anything that you thought was actually scary in this movie?
Scary. No, I thought the part that I liked, I guess, or when I really started like paying attention and getting into it was when they get the bundle of sticks wrapped with the shirt and the piece of scalp and teeth and tongue or whatever that is.
Oh yeah, I thought it was fingers. I had no idea.
Yeah, whatever it is.
I was like, oh, it's gross. I remember that's when you're like, you have to take this seriously, like something bad's happening here. I would say that the battery drop moment is when, though, like Jay said, is whenever the stick figures happen, and then that's the second battery drop moment where you're like, oh shit, this shit just got ratcheted up to 11. So, how about you, Will? Is there any parts of this movie that you like other than the part that you mocked earlier? The
That's just the famous scene. My favorite part's always been the screaming through the forest and how what's his name was freaking out trying to find him, just running through. I think it was like right after the tent, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she says, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?"
Hear him in the background, just like curdling his screams, like that. That's probably the coolest part of the movie for me.
She did see something in the woods. There was actually an actor out in the woods that she saw, and they were hoping that she would swing the camera and it would catch it. And basically they wanted a Bigfoot moment. They had somebody dress up in white long johns, and go out in the woods and just walk around like Bigfoot for hours, in the hopes that whenever they ran out, because that's what they said, you need to run out to this location, stay there for 3 hours, do not come back to camp. They were hoping that they would catch that person, and that was going to be the Blair Witch for the movie. So Jake, how about you?
It didn't happen?
It didn't happen. Yeah, she
That's
saw him
hilarious.
because she screams, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?" But she didn't catch it on camera.
That kind of makes it better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. This movie is a total Jaws. Like, everything you don't see makes this movie better. You know what I mean? And that's why I said it comes down to the sound design. Just it's your theater of the mind. It's your imagination that takes over up until the end. Jake, is there anything in this movie specifically that you like that stays with you?
That whole scene from the tent to the end till it goes black.
Right at the end when they go into the house.
No. I already told you I love the fucking tent scene where they're all slapping on the outside.
Right.
And I'd run out and it goes black. That whole fucking scene right there. I think that was the best.
Is that when I scared you, Ethan?
I think so, because I was in a dead focus into the movie, and of course,
I'm a dick.
Yeah, he just looks over at me. I could feel something moving over here. Gah!
Had to, man. Had to.
Bastard.
Ethan, is there anything that stuck with you from the movie, having just watched it, or is there anything specifically that you liked?
I really liked where they came back and they could have sworn they were walking south the entire time, but came back to the log that they had supposedly crossed earlier in the movie. That was where I felt like they were kind of trapped by whatever this Blair Witch was. And it's like, yeah, you're fucked. You're done. This thing has got you ensnared in whatever magical witch curse it's got. You're toast. Sorry, buddy.
That's actually what's going on too. Like, and I never realized that until I watched the sequel where they actually get caught walking in loops. And I never realized that was probably the magic of the Blair Witch that was causing it. Or is it all fake out? Is none of this real? Is this just, there's a theory that the two guys took her into the woods to kill her. Having been the ex-girlfriend, he hired the other guy. I think it's a film theory that came out with that. But like, that's been around for a long time, where it's like, maybe this is all psychological and they're just trying to get some sort of revenge on her to murder her. Is any of it real? Are they just messing around? Did Josh just lose his mind and decide to smack them both with bricks at the end of the movie? He was kind of losing it a little bit. Maybe the Blair Witch isn't a real thing at all. At the end of the movie, I mean, it really comes down to, what do you think happened? And the guys talked about in the beginning of the movie, like, he made the killer who escaped, and that's the other thing. Maybe it's not a Blair Witch at all. Maybe it's another copycat killer. He escaped the asylum and he made the children stand in the corner while he killed each and every one of them. So I've always wondered if that was that too. Maybe they just got unlucky, got lost in the woods, and the killer was back out there. Because I don't ever think they say he's dead or anything like that. So do you guys, I'm going to go down and just ask you if you think it's the Blair Witch is real, and ask you if you recommend this movie. So Lynsey, do you think the Blair Witch is real? Do you recommend this movie?
I'm going to say yes, she's real and capable of possessing people. And I recommend the movie for the experience.
But other than that, you wouldn't watch it again, you don't think?
Yeah, probably not.
One and done. Jake, how about you? Do you recommend, or do you think the Blair Witch is real, and do you recommend it?
Why the fuck would you ask me if I think the Blair Witch is real?
I think he means real in the
movie. I know you're right. I'm talking in real life, though.
Okay,
we're going ghost hunting, bro.
Okay. Yes, I'm very afraid of the Blair Witch. Monsters spray up in my bed every night to make sure
he can totally meet the Blair Witch.
Yeah. I believe in her more than I do in Jesus. How about that? So,
Jay, unamused.
I would recommend the movie to watch one time. If you've never seen it, yeah, it's worth a watch. And then after that, if you decide that you love this movie, you're probably a sociopath. I don't know.
On that note,
see how Duck's head just shot up? He's like, "Whoa."
On that note, I do believe in the Blair Witch as much as Jesus.
Yeah.
and I love this movie, so I'm a sociopath.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Excellent.
I do recommend it. Big recommendation for me. Watch it at least once. Watch it with a friend. Is an experience. Turn off all the lights. Make sure you got a good sound system, and just make sure you scare the fuck out of your friend when he's not expecting it. So that's the way I say to do it. Jay, unimpressed Jay with the Jesus joke. What do you think? Do you believe in the Blair Witch in the movie, and do you recommend it?
I'll say this. In the context of the movie, yeah, sure, I definitely believe in it.
I didn't realize Jake's wearing a devil hat. Like, it's the best.
That's Mikey B. That's Mikey B.
That's awesome. So sorry. In the context of the movie, you believe in the Blair Witch?
Yeah, and I think that I got to be honest. I think this is a movie that's kind of lost in time. I don't know if I would recommend it because I think the magic is completely gone.
Damn.
I think it was a movie in time for people of a certain era, because after everyone found out it was real, like, I almost think the movie has no point. Like, it did its job so well that it could, like, that movie in itself could never be recreated with the same kind of zeitgeist. Like you said, it was a changer. It changed everything.
I wanted to talk about that too. This movie isn't special anymore because everyone vlogs. Everyone does what this movie does.
It made everybody want to dive into movies. Like, I really think this movie it wasn't the birth of, but I think the fact that so many people got fooled by it, that I think a lot of people's kind of egos got shook by it. So people are like, I'm never going to be fooled again. And so they kind of dug in deep, and so they never let any movie fool them ever again.
You can't give away the magic of the movie. Yeah. Well,
Do you
here's the thing.
classify yourself as one of these people?
Yes. Do you?
No, actually, I really don't. I love being scared. I love being surprised. I spend money at haunted houses because I love being scared. I find zero like, fun and gloating to all your friends about how nothing scares you. I think it's kind of a sad existence personally. Like, I love experiences. So yeah, I would not consider myself one of those at all now.
I want to kind of talk about what you were talking about, though. The big thing that was the shocking thing was this was a movie that did the first selfie. When she turned that camera on herself, people were like, you can do that? And that kind of got lost in time because we all do that now. We all take selfies. We all have the camera on us at all time. We all vlog. We're always, people are always constantly communicating in the way that this movie made people realize, like, oh shit, you can be low tech and just have a camera and do whatever the fuck you want. And it's a movie. So this is commonplace now. So that's what I was intrigued by Ethan watching it for the first time. This probably doesn't seem novel to you at all, does it? It just seems like old hat.
I think you're kind of reading that wrong. I don't think it's so much that was the first selfie within film. It's the first one that got big. Surely there had to be someone else out there that was able to move the camera close up and just go,
guys,
I'm so
got my back on this?
Sorry,
like,
Ethan. He's dead right
there's
about
gotta
that,
be
man.
someone.
No, we didn't do it.
It's on the video cover. It's not on the video cover because it was everywhere. I mean,
yeah.
What did Will intro with? He didn't intro with that because it was not special.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally right.
Maybe this is the first movie that just did it right. Surely there's got to be some short films or something out there.
That's a millennial there, guys. That's a millennial who just can't believe that something was original.
Nothing is anymore.
How old are you?
That was 99.
Yeah. What year were you born, Ethan?
98.
When was this movie come out?
These people were dead. These people were dead when you were born. Did you not know? This happened in 94, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. You're on your element, Donnie.
That's the other thing I want to say. Duck tried so hard before we did this movie to get me to believe that this was real. And in you saying that, I instantly knew this shit was not.
I'm not a good actor.
By the way, it's based on a real true story.
I'm an idiot. No. Will, do you believe in the Blair Witch, and would you recommend the movie?
Yes, I would. Jay's correct. This is less of a movie that continues with life and more of an experience that happened that people paid for. But I like it. I still enjoy going back to it. I don't know that people like Ethan would enjoy it nowadays, but for me, yeah, I'd recommend it for people my age or people who remember hearing about it. Like if you have never seen it, yeah, see it. If I believe the Blair Witch is true inside the context of the movie, yeah, why not? Who cares? enjoy the ghost stories. You know,
Yeah. Well, that's
all we
is
got.
It's a modern campfire tale done right, because remember we used to always take the flashlight and put it under our faces. That's basically what she does at that point. She does the old flashlight and tells a scary story.
I am the leprechaun.
Yeah, but that's what's great about it is a modern campfire tale, and it has its own lore now and everything. Yeah, exactly. So and you never see a campfire throughout the whole movie. Ethan, finally, yes or no, do you believe in the Blair Witch, and do you recommend the movie having just watched it? I already know the answer.
That was definitely the Blair Witch at the end, because Mike was flipping shit throughout the whole movie. There's no good reason he would not be standing in that corner unless he was possessed and about to be killed. About to be murgulated.
Word.
As far as this movie, surprisingly, yes, I would recommend this movie.
Cheers.
Not because it's scary, but because it's tense. That whole movie, I was on the edge of my seat. You probably looked over and saw me. I was sitting up, just kind of intently focusing on the screen. That's why you were able to, look over and scare the crap out of me. Is this movie demands your full attention, whether you want to give it to it or not. And I had fun watching it. I did. But there was some stuff that, I really didn't like. A couple big issues like the map. I really didn't like Heather. And I would have liked to see the Blair Witch at some point during this. But I had fun. And definitely at least the historical context of it and how it affected the genre as a whole, that instantly makes it worth watching at least one time through. So,
Did you ever watch Cloverfield, Ethan?
Nope.
Okay.
So
I think
I'm sure we'll
Cloverfield
get
is
to
a
it.
great example of why the Blair Witch wasn't shown. Even though the Blair Witch happened first, I understand that. But in Cloverfield, that whole movie is so great and so tense. And then you see that stupid looking fucking monster. And the movie's just kind of like, bleh. Right
So then
Yeah.
let's remember this for when we do eventually get to Cloverfield, because I have a feeling we'll probably get there. I kind of want to compare the two whenever we do Cloverfield.
Oh, you have to. I mean, you have to. Cloverfield.
That's a pretty good question. What, like, of all the movies that this movie inspired, what do y'all think is the best one?
Yeah, I will start. I think Cloverfield is the best version of that. Absolutely.
Lindsay wants to start.
Yeah,
Let Lindsay start, Duck.
My bad, Lindsay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lindsay. Go ahead.
No, one that you haven't mentioned yet, and I don't remember the entire title off the top of my head, but it's The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Something, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
It's Behind the Mask.
That was,
Yes.
that was one of the Will recommends. In fact.
Yes.
Yeah,
Such
I've never
a good.
seen it, but I want to see it. What is it about it though? It's a documentary style where they're talking to the serial killer, right?
Yeah, it's not meant to be scary, really. I don't think.
But it's got a fun twist.
Very
So
fun twist.
good movie.
I will say Chronicle, like I said already, it rocks. I love it. Not Chronicle, but Cloverfield. I think that it's absolutely amazing. I think it's great. Jake, what do you think?
Creep.
Creep.
I think Creep did probably the best job of this. The first one, especially.
What is Creep?
Mark Duplass.
That was another one of my Will recommends. I'm glad to know that those are going through your head, Duck, and that you're paying attention and watching these movies.
My bad. I don't know what to say. I'll drink some more. Will, how about you? What is your?
Well, I have a lot, but yeah, Creep. Like when the minute Jake said it, I was like, yeah, that's the one that did it absolutely perfectly. It was Creep.
You know what? What else I think? Maniac. Maniac with Elijah Wood, I think is a great found footage, because it's not found footage. It's from his perspective. It's like you see the whole movie from his perspective, and like when he moves into a mirror, it's a remake of the 80s film Maniac. And when he looks in the mirror, you see Elijah Woods, and then you look away, and it's just his perspective. But when he kills, he actually has out-of-body experiences where he floats around and he becomes detached from the murders, and it's absolutely crazy how the movie plays out. But I think that is a wonderful found footage style film. How about
you know what? I want to change mine to Truman Show.
Truman Show. Found footage. You're right. I think that based upon what I said, you can. Jay, what do you think?
Oh, with a bullet, Grave Encounters 1 and 2. Those movies are just absolutely terrifying. Have y'all seen those?
Yep.
No.
Oh yeah. See that one. That one actually is like, it is the perfect example of what the Blair Witch would become in like 10 years, because in that one you get to see all the fun supernatural things. Like, you get to see them go into a door, go back out, and the door's gone. Like, it plays with real trick photography and supernatural stuff. So yeah, I thought Grave Encounters was pretty perfect.
Is it on Shudder?
I don't know. I stopped my subscription, but
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good. It will not disappoint.
Not to gloat to my friends, but very rarely do movies scare me. And Grave Encounters is like legit freaks me out. Like it was a great movie.
Great night movie.
Ethan, I have a feeling I know what movie you're going to say because you went to pick it up. But do you have a certain found footage style movie or a first person kind of movie that you like?
Oh, are you expecting me to compare this to Hardcore Henry? No.
Hardcore Henry, yeah. That's
not
what
at
I was
all.
expecting. No?
When you mentioned that earlier, I don't know if you saw, but I was kind of going like, what the hell? No. The most this movie did was maybe kind of influence the first person aspect thing, but I don't think really this movie played into Hardcore Henry at all. Being honest. If anything, that was more taken after like video games and first person shooters than anything else.
Hardcore Henry doesn't feel like a found footage movie.
It feels like a first person.
I mentioned it earlier because of David Jessup's motion sickness.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it plays because I think eventually you get there from this. Like you don't get to Hardcore Henry without
you go from Halo to Hardcore Henry.
Well, maybe if they like took the chip out of his brain like he's fucking Johnny Mnemonic or something, and then they're playing it back on a different receiver. Maybe you're seeing.
It's kind of a bit of a stretch.
I mean, for me, I think that it is directly down the line, and you go Blair Witch, and then you see a upside down triangle that leads eventually to Hardcore Henry down here at the bottom, or maybe
it goes like this.
You're right. Maybe I was wrong. You know what? I'm wrong. Okay.
Maybe a dodecahedron.
Hey everyone, it's just Stuck jumping in here to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And don't forget to join our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. And don't forget to join our Discord. All links can be found in the description. The next segment of the podcast will be clips from the movie. So if you would like to see that, head over to our Twitch at twitch.tv /WeArePodcast for the full video stream. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
All right, guys. Guys and gals, anything else we want to say about the movie? All right. We're moving on to clips then.
I'll tell you this, don't watch the fucking sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I could have gone this entire cast without mentioning that movie.
We almost did.
Yeah.
Too late. All right.
God, ruin everything.
No.
Here he is, filling out our first slate for our first shot.
Should we all, cut our fingers open and bleed on it? A little bloodletting on the slate?
No, we'll save that for later.
Kiss it.
Okay.
Kiss the slate.
Kiss
First slate.
First slate, marked by my lipstick.
Mikey, first slate. Kiss it. Good luck.
Oh, he licked it. God bless him.
College kids. Did I lose you guys? Everyone's gone. Oh, okay. My bad.
No, it's a boring clip.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Oh, I'm an idiot. Documentary.
This is Burkittsville, formerly Blair. It is a small, quiet Maryland town, much like a small, quiet town anywhere. No more than 20 families laid their roots here over 200 years ago, many of whom remain, either on this hill or in the town below.
I like how she puts on her documentary accent like she's fucking Madonna.
I like the fact that it was forced. I thought it gave it some nuance. I like
it.
It
really felt like the kind of
agree.
thing. It felt like the kind of thing I'd be sitting in class and they'd be showing this on the projector with the person kind of sitting nervously next to him going, God, I hope teacher likes my project.
I thought it was purposely annoying. I liked it. I thought it was a good choice.
I agree. I'm saying I like that aspect because whenever she's off screen, she doesn't talk like that. She's putting on her production voice.
By the way, somebody they did inhaler, so everyone who has an inhaler, please use it.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, I think.
Fake it.
Yeah. Go ahead and take it. I'll use mine for real.
Okay. Nerd.
Thank you also for Leviathan GX following us and Wiz Link. They followed us also, so thank you so much.
One of the many dumb things we do.
Booger Eater Baby.
Or somewhere.
Really? Of course you would clip this.
About the ghosts and legends of Maryland.
Look at those bug eyes on that kid.
Was that Ethan?
Holy shit, it could have been.
Legends of Maryland.
No, I was busy eating paint chips.
Ethan wasn't even a sparkle in his dad's nutsack at that point.
All right, this is the witch, right? This is truly the witch.
I was laying down on the leaves, a pile of leaves, kind of watching my pool.
Mary Brown!
Sky, sure. And all of a sudden I felt like something was near me.
Right.
Kind of a...
Everyone knows this woman in their town, the fucking local meth addict. Like, everyone has met this woman. Like,
Can you feel me?
all right. These guys crack me up because they, like, it feels real. Like, these guys aren't actors at all because of the way they banter.
Damn fool kids will never learn.
Just that, shut up.
It's A+ material, Doc. I gotta say.
Hey, man. What do you want me to do, man? It's the movie.
You clip this movie. Like, there's really
yeah, right. I'm just clowning.
Tension.
Hey, if anyone else wants to clip it, you are more than welcome. I heard it.
I'll continue to talk shit though with you.
The problem is I sleep like.
That's because you clip the movies. That's fine.
Is this the fart?
Her noises last night. The problem is I sleep like a fucking rock.
It was like there were two separate noises coming from two layers of space over here, and one of them was kind of like, one of them could have possibly been an owl, but the other one was like cackling. Was a
No
definite,
way.
It was a total cackling, man.
If I heard a cackling, I would have shit in my pants.
There was an air noise, and it was over there, and it was like an owl, but it was.
You do not like the way he talks at all, do you, Ethan?
No.
Half my friends at that age talk like that, though.
Absolutely.
I knew every dude.
He was just like really sure that it was definitely an owl. Like he's got some expertise there.
And an expertise in cackling.
Yeah. It's
I know what's
definitely
an
an
owl.
owl, but maybe also a witch.
If there's two things I know, it's owls and witches. And that definitely was no owl.
Full shit statement.
I said I knew where we were going.
Wait. Would that be a full of shit statement?
No, I didn't.
Would that be a full of shit statement?
Mike cracked me up throughout
Try
this
to look at
movie.
the map now, even though I know where we're going and we're going straight ahead up there.
If you've known where we're going, we wouldn't be hiking like.
We're in the middle of the fucking
How could
woods,
you
man.
Some of it is off-trail hiking.
Because people told you, oh yeah, there's a cemetery back in there.
I don't.
Lost. Admit that first. Because
We're not. I know we're not lost.
oh, you knew that yesterday too, and you knew that twice
Look,
today.
no bullshit, and we have not been lost at all today.
That's nothing. I don't know why you have to have every conversation on video, man. Tape some
Because we're making a documentary.
Not about us getting lost. We're making a documentary about a witch.
Dude, that like so 1999. If the guys would have taken her fucking map and still got lost and still blamed her.
Yes, that's exactly what would have happened. I think it's important though because they got lost relatively quick, and I grew up in the woods. And Jake, you ran around the woods when you were a kid too.
Oh, yeah.
You know how easy it is to get lost in the woods. Even
There's been a couple times where I've been like, "Holy shit, I've gone a little too far." I'm not
right, and that's the thing is you're always tracking where you're at, and you're always paying attention to stuff. When you said earlier, like, why didn't they pay better attention? It's true because I've gotten lost. Like a mile to a mile and a half in the woods. And I remember it being one of the most terrifying experiences. Luckily for me, the woods weren't that deep and I found the road eventually, but it's a terrifying experience and they're really out there. So it's easy.
I think
to
I
do.
remember one thing I said it was when they first started fighting like this, when we were sitting watching the movie, is none of these three have clearly ever been camping before. You need to overpack. Prepare like you're going to get lost in the woods for an extra day or two at least, just in case.
They only thought they were going to like two different sites, and this was like I think just one step along their documentary trail. You know what I mean? And I think
prepare in case shit goes wrong, not for the perfect scenario because of. Well, not necessarily a Blair Witch, but in case of dumbasses not giving you the fucking map and leading you off into the middle of back-ass nowhere.
Yeah, it's easy to say that shit when you're sitting on your couch watching.
Well, that's the other part is like, again, this is another one of those lost in time things, because if any of us were doing this movie now, everyone would have cell phones.
Right.
Nobody,
Right.
they'd probably go with the whole
out there.
Yeah,
That's
that's the MacGuffin they would use.
Yeah.
But
that's what Austin just said back in 1999 when you could get lost. Like,
yeah.
But I think the thing with Heather is, and why Ethan thought that she was so bitchy was she was just too proud to,
really
give up her idea and the fact, I mean, it does sometimes come across as bitchy, but she's the female in the show, and I feel like I've got to say something from the female perspective.
No, you're exactly right.
I'm not that person,
No,
but
Mike is the
you're
bitchy
exactly
one of this
right.
whole movie. Mike is the bitchiest bitch of the entire
he's bitching.
Like if you're
going to
use the word, use it correctly, because he's the one who's bitching. And she's just headstrong about her movie. She wants her movie done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think that they give it up to us to kind of decide, because you need to have some conflict, because they obviously knew that it wasn't going to be the witch that was going to bring them all together. So it's ultimately the witch that kind of tears them all apart, and that's the conflict you get to see in the movie.
Yeah, it's the Blair bitch.
Right. You get to experience. I thought Josh was definitely the most boring of the three. Mike and Heather just had more fun, I thought.
Well, until the end, whenever he realized that they were lost.
Yeah, then he booked it. Then he became the most entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a shower, not a
Guys,
rock thing.
Do you remember something that Mary Brown said the other day?
That crazy bitch, Mary Brown.
Mary Brown.
What was the story from the Bible that she was telling us? Fuck, I wasn't listening to her because I thought she was a lunatic. It was Esau, but it was something about a pile of rocks. And we're like, you didn't just knock that over. Please tell me you didn't just knock that over.
I just knocked it over.
So did she curse them right here when she kissed that rock and put it back?
Right.
Or did she curse herself whenever she took the totem or whatever? The little piece.
Or when she kissed the slate at the beginning of
a little
it.
bit of both, maybe.
Or whenever she decided to do this fucking project.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it really, yeah. I feel like they were in trouble, but yeah, I always wondered that too. Like if you hadn't knocked over the rocks, or if you hadn't taken the creepy wooden doll, like what would have happened?
They take the doll.
So
Yeah.
I read a thing earlier saying that, like, if you go, because you can still go look at the website where they have her journal that she wrote during the production, and it mentions her actually like trying to like talk to the witch, like trying to conjure the witch in advance of even going into the woods. Like she's trying to have this thing manifest itself before they even go out there.
That's cool, but
Never summon the demon. We learned that. Me and Jake learned, don't summon the demon because you get fucking COVID.
Oh, please.
No, I'm just saying.
God damn. Use a Ouija board one fucking time.
It falls off your wall all the time, dude.
The oracle does, not the board.
Locals or whatever, I don't know who the hell would come out here. What bugs me out is that we're so damn deep in the woods, and people are going to try and come out here and mess with us, then they got to have something wrong with them, and I'm not going to play with that.
Well, how do we know it was people?
Well, even if it wasn't, I'm not going to play with that either.
Eminem.
Mike seems so absolutely sincerely pissed right there. It was some of the realest acting I thought for him.
Oh yeah.
Eminem. He looks like Eminem.
It was almost like he was
Adding
complaining
to
about
there.
he was complaining about the people that he knew were going to run up and scare him, but then she kind of reminded him, "Hey, we're here about a witch, remember?" "Oh yeah, whatever it is, sure, okay."
I mean, he was probably legit freaked out. What were you saying, Lynsey?
Oh, you said I just said Paddington Bear because he has the.
Get that man some marmalade.
Mike Freakout, which he had quite a few good
You want
ones.
to see the map? Keep our heads together, we'll be just fine.
Fucking bullshit! Mike, chill.
Go toss some rocks. Now this one I'm going to pump up a little bit so you can kind of hear it.
Oh shit.
You hear that?
Yeah, that worked for me. And I noticed that's when Ethan started to get a little bit more enthralled. Because what was it, Ethan? About 30 minutes into the movie, you were like, this isn't bad. And like, what was your expectation? You thought it was going to be utter shit?
I didn't know. I mean, I've heard people talk about it, and just about everyone I've heard talk about it has claimed this to be the greatest, scariest thing ever made. And
yeah,
30 minutes in, that was when it started for me, at least, getting tense and building up. But
yeah,
not scary. It's tense.
Yeah,
it was the scariest thing at the moment.
Yeah,
its experience was Perfect.
This and The Sixth Sense, like they were like cultural events.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah, like
Oh,
if you remember back at those times, like our horror movies around the time were filled with teen movies.
Right.
Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legends. Like
Right.
this is the first, like I think, real scare that we got in '99.
We needed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wake up,
We deserved
horror's
it.
back.
We deserved it.
The map.
Did you take it?
No, I didn't take the fucking map, man. I'm not playing head games, man. If anyone's playing head games, you're playing head games, but I'm not playing head games.
Dude, all our shoes are wet. We were laughing at the situation.
Fine.
We're fucking hungry. We're fucking tired. What the hell else are we supposed
You
to
know
do
what?
at this point?
I kicked the. I'm sorry. It's fucked up. It's fucked up, but I kicked that fucking map into the creek yesterday. It was useless. I kicked that fucker into the creek.
Somebody should have just given him a granola bar.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
If I can't have the map, no one can.
Mike?
Holy shit.
I really fucking hope he's
Mike, are you
kidding.
kidding?
The poster.
What?
So this was on. I remember this being on some of the posters. The stick figures. Do you guys remember that?
What kind of stuff? What?
Voodoo stuff is hanging all over. Look around.
No way.
They're all over the place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's not.
Cool.
That's like the main figure associated with the movie right there, though.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
triangle thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's on all the posters.
Yeah, and I remember being sincerely creeped out by the figures. Like I said, this is the battery drops moment. But yeah, like this stuff. I mean, does it still hold up? I don't know. In the context of the movie, I feel like it does.
Did.
It was
but you
creepy.
spent 8 fucking minutes looking at the same shit over and over.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, you got the footage, and they're telling her that also. So I mean, that kind of makes sense as well. They're all telling her, "All right, you filmed enough. You filmed enough." But I felt it went on a little bit too long, and there was a lot of repeat footage shit. So I don't know.
It probably feels that way with the clips right now too. I'm sorry, guys. It's a hard movie to clip. I was really trying to
No,
find a
I'm
good
talking
clip.
about
No,
that
man, I do
entire
not-
fucking scene right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not envy you, Duck. You're doing great, man.
Yeah, killing it.
This is fucking crazy shit.
All right, with the kids. This is another pump up the audio.
Oh, dear.
There it is, Jake.
Yeah, you can see the hands on the tin outside.
Oh yeah.
Go, fucking go!
This was a cool scene.
I'm coming. My boots aren't laced.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Dude, what the fuck is that?
And her reaction was real. She
There-
didn't know.
There was something so good about being in the theater and just desperately wanting to see something in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And just completely, it doesn't pay off, but it's still like it just felt right. Like that is one of the best tension scenes right there.
Did it almost feel right, Will, not to see it? Like
Yeah,
in a way,
100%.
Yeah, it was like, okay, well played. Well played.
If you see it, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Magic's
How
gone.
How to say that? Yeah.
I feel like this movie probably would have had more of an effect on me if I would have seen it in a theater. You know,
That's a
completely dark room, atmospheric, big screen.
No
That would have
creepy
made a
duck
big
next
difference.
to you.
Yeah, no creepy duck sitting and scaring the crap out of me when it gets all quiet.
I mean, I probably still would have. I think I scared my
Yeah,
friend
you
Ben in
definitely
theater.
would've.
Yeah, that's just.
You definitely
I'm a
fucking
dick, and that's a dick thing to do. And so, it's a documentary thing. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Put the camera down. This is not funny.
Coming.
This is
Do I look like I'm laughing at all?
no, but you're going around doing your documentary thing, man. You're still doing your fucking thing.
Don't fuck it! Then turn the goddamn thing off!
So violent. All right, I do want to talk about this. I think this is important. Maybe I overthought this, but there's a lot of social commentary in what the characters say right here, and then I'll kind of discuss what I mean afterwards.
I see why you like this video camera so much.
You do?
It's not quite reality.
Reality says we gotta move.
No, but it's totally like a filtered reality, man. It's like you can pretend everything's not quite the way it is.
All right, we live in a world where we have 24/7 access to cameras. We film everything. We take pictures of ourselves in unrealistic situations. We have people who film police interactions. We have constant access to this stuff, and we're always showing what we want the world to look like. We're showing false realities. Instagram, for most people, is a false reality. It is a filtered reality. And it's so weird that this movie, before we had all this technology, was able to call that and say, I see why you like this so much. It's, filtered reality, where we have people sitting around, being killed and people are just filming. That's it. Because it's safety behind this. Does that make sense? And so that's what I think is weird, that this movie was able to kind of put the nail on the head to the fact that when we had cameras, we would no longer take action because we've all become directors in our own sense. I thought that was an intriguing social commentary that they probably didn't even know they were about to do. And like I said, the other thing is we create false realities. When I take pictures online and put them on Instagram, myself smiling, I'm usually not in a great mood. I'm usually not happy. It's false. And we put this image out to the world that everything's okay and everything's hunky-dory, and it's not. We're never really truthful about things that are happening. And we create these scenarios. That's what Heather was doing throughout this movie. She was creating a safety net behind that. As long as she had something else going on, she was constantly distracting herself from reality. And that's what we do constantly too. And I thought that was interesting social commentary. Or maybe I'm crazy.
Well, I think it's interesting that the guy who's supposed to be her ex-boyfriend is the one that points that out.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like there's tension between them that's happening beneath the surface of this movie, and not knowing that they're exes, you can't tell. But the question is, when he says to her in that scene, he says, does this have a happy ending? Was he talking about the relationship? Because I feel like he was. And that's when she starts crying. That's when she really breaks down.
Well, if that's not the case, then why would he leave his girlfriend for days on time to go be with his ex-girlfriend to film a movie?
And why would his girlfriend be cool with that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting. Like, what? So, and I didn't even really put it together until, for their viewings that they were exes or whatever. Mm-hmm. But obviously he's there because he wants to be with her. That's why he tells Mike to stop yelling at her several times.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think but why would he book it? And that kind of plays into more the Blair Witch has to be real, because he would never leave her. He was still protecting her. And like at one point he's like, don't make me yell at you. And you can tell how serious he's being. He's like, and then he still doesn't yell at her, which I thought was awesome because Mike's yelling left and right. Yeah, there's a lot. I think that's why this movie works, I think, for the long haul too, because the tension building and all that, but I think showing all those small character interactions throughout the movie is what really builds it, because you believe these characters are real and you believe that there's this camaraderie between them. I think I said that right, alcohol. But yeah, it's just one of those things that it works. But yeah, great social commentary. I thought maybe like I'm reading into it too much, but I just wanted to point that out.
It's an interesting take.
Making movies.
Okay, here's your motivation. You're lost. You're angry in the woods, and no one here is here to help you. There's a fucking witch, and she keeps leaving shit outside your door. There's no one here to help you. She left little trinkets. You fucking took one of them. She ran after us. There's no one here to help you. We walked for 15 hours today. We ended up in the same place. There's no one here to help you. That's your motivation. That's your motivation.
I think that was more they were mad at the filmmakers than anything.
I've been trying to figure out who she reminds me of this entire time, and it's the female version of Sid from Toy Story.
Oh my God.
That's who she looks like. That close-up did it for me.
There's no one here to help you. We walked for 15 hours today.
Right. There you talk about a forehead like that.
I don't agree with you saying that that's their frustration with the filmmakers. What that is he knows exactly how to break her, and he still blames her for where they are. So he used exactly the right words. Like, if you're in a relationship, you know the buttons that you shouldn't press.
Right.
And even if they weren't in a relationship, I mean, I didn't know that whole backstory thing at all, ever, until you guys brought it up. But just when you're friends, you know the right buttons to push. And he knew exactly what he was saying to break her, because he blames her.
Nailed it.
That's what I think, anyway. I could just be crazy. I don't know.
No, I think you're right.
No,
I think you're right.
Way better explanation than Duck.
Yeah, thank you.
I like how they used his shirt to wrap up all that stuff, though.
What was that, Jake?
They used Josh's shirt to wrap up the bundle of stuff, everything. Also, that was kind of a cool, alluding to what's going to happen, what she's going to find in there.
Yeah, and I forgot all about this. When I saw this, this was effective for me. This really did freak me out earlier. What is in there? It is a tongue.
It's teeth.
It's a
teeth.
tongue and a finger and teeth. Is it? Is it an ear?
Hair.
The tooth.
It's poop. Did somebody say poop?
It's a fucking molar.
Yeah, it's a huge tooth.
I thought that was a chunk of scalp with hair on it.
Yeah.
It's a molar. Right?
See, with that one though, her reaction is what freaked me out more than anything else at that particular part.
Just that it's real teeth.
That's real teeth?
It is teeth that they got from a dentist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the actual fact, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
The iconic scene.
I'm scared to close my eyes.
She does say I'm scared.
She says I'm scared to close my eyes, but we always thought it was I'm so scared. She actually says I'm so sorry, I'm so scared to close my eyes. So I think other movies, and it just got caught in the zeitgeist, like, Luke, I am your father. He actually says, no, I am your father. It's just one of those things that it changes with,
It's the
different
Blair Witch
interpretations.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
She actually says Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
final
hard to
scene.
not watch the snot dripping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what
what
they
made
parodied.
that parody movie. Yeah, just the
Scary movie.
massive
The very
amount of-
first scary movie. Yeah, Sherry O'Terry.
Yep. And finally, this worked. It still worked. It gave me chills. This works.
Mike just had to take a piss.
That was it.
Oh,
He's
well.
just chilling.
She is deathly afraid of urine.
Yeah.
it's rolling towards her is what's going on.
Yeah, she knew it was gonna.
Stop it!
Yeah. David said the screaming at the end is so unsettling. Yeah, I got goosebumps twice today watching this, both times. Whenever she walks into the room, when he's standing in the corner, and then just like gets that hit. Like every time it gets to me. And like, I don't know. I think that this movie holds up, but I also understand that it was, you guys kept bringing it up, it was a cultural event and it was huge. Like I can't even express to you, Ethan, how huge this was. Like I say, when I told Ethan Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the shit, like he was like, what? I was like, dude, you don't understand. It was everything. Like that's all you talked about until X-Men came out after that. And before that was G.I. Joe. Like these things have a moment in time. And the Blair Witch was just a moment in time. Where
Somehow you just compared Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe to Blair Witch.
I don't think he's.
I just want you to just contemplate that for a moment, Duck.
I think it was seamless.
Medications. That's what I'm going to say. Guys, Blair Witch. I thought it was a great movie. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I'm trying to vamp, so I'm ignoring Will's recommendations. He does it to me every time. All right, Will, give us some recommendations.
Usually you ask. Oh wait, we already did the wood.
Yeah, we did the recommendation.
Okay.
We did. Do you believe the Blair Witch? Go ahead, Lynsey. What were you saying?
Oh, I did have a question.
Sure.
So, like something that I was thinking about when I was watching it. I wanted to know what you guys thought. The screaming in the woods with Josh, like, because my first thought was like it was the witch, like replicating the scream, like, but like some people, think that it's actually him still alive. So I
totally believe that it's the witch. Yeah.
It's the
I'd
witch.
like to believe that it's the witch also, just mimicking also to draw them all in.
Well,
I mean,
That
what
would make
better
more
way?
mock
Well, yeah, I was
them.
gonna say, yeah, what better way than to mock them? Like you're looking for your friend, you're calling out for him the entire time, and then you hear his voice off in the distance in agony. Well, let's go help our friend, and it just right into the trap.
Do y'all think that we've gotten yet to this day like the quintessential perfect witch movie?
Yeah, The Witch.
Yeah, The Witch.
The
Yeah, I was gonna
Witch.
say, have you
The
seen the fucking
Witch.
Witch?
I thought the witch I thought the goat took a little bit more of a
Black Phillip is the shit.
Yeah,
I think he's great.
What are you talking about?
I think he's great. I think he's great.
Don't talk shit on Black Phillip.
I love the witch. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
The Witch,
I think we
dude.
just got our first T-shirt design. Black Phillip is the shit. Cam/Horrorcast. Keep horror in your heart.
Yeah, dude, The Witch. The ending to The Witch is one of the greatest endings of a movie
Pretty
of all
good.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, hit us up. What do you
All
recommend?
right. Well, actually, I have 2 recommendations as I do. Sadly, these are not free movies, but they can be purchased for about $3 each on Amazon. And Jay has already ruined the first one. The Fourth Kind. Absolutely one of the best combinations of creating that real life, fake life thing in the modern era, I feel. The way they combine the actual footage with the movie that Mila Jovovich is in is just so perfect. And when that lady's mouth opens all the way up, I about cried. Like, it was so good and creeped me out. Number 2, I did not do another found footage. I did a movie called The Furies or The Furries. I'm not 100% sure. But there's no animal people in it, so it's cool. Basically, what this is, it's the Hunger Games in a murder movie. So this lady, as you see in the little poster here, I don't know where my things are over there. She is put down into this little arena, essentially, it was created, and there's a bunch of movie monsters there ready to murder her. But it's just dudes in masks, and there's a few people in there. It's not just her, and it's the kills in this movie are spectacular, and it's all practical. There's no shitty CGI, but $3.99 on Amazon. It's well worth it. So that's my 2 recommendations.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Will. I didn't mean to ruin it.
No, that's actually, I thought it was really funny when you said it. I was like, oh, okay. Because it is absolutely a perfect modern day.
The second one's the
Witch.
Baseball Furies.
Yes.
That sounds awesome, actually. So thank you.
Blair Witch.
Usually I would jump to David, but Lynsey, do you have anything that you want to recommend? You are a voiceover artist. You have been in some stuff, correct? Do you have anything on the web that we can direct people to that they can watch that you've been in? If not, I'll link it.
I don't know. Look me up. Anime News Network. Find weird anime stuff I've been in, or normal anime stuff that I've been in. I don't know. I just voice it. I don't watch it. So
There
you go. I'm really surprised Javi is not.
Yeah,
here
he's
tonight,
missing
because
out on
he's a
talking to an
huge
actual
fan.
anime.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we're all lucky that he's missing out on talking to an actual anime person.
You would have just broken his heart by saying you don't watch any of that stuff that you're in at all.
Yeah,
He's crying right now.
Well,
there are 2 types of voiceover people at Funimation. The people that are like real into it and they watch everything that they voice plus more, and then like people that are just in it for voice acting, which
this is a fucking job, man. Okay?
I have one nerd question. What do you think your favorite character was that you used? Oh, did someone do another inhaler?
No, I'm just saying. Nerds. That's what we're doing.
We were all like ready to take our.
I can't take anymore. I can't anymore. Go ahead, Lynsey. Sorry.
I'm always gonna have a special place in my heart for my very first like main role. It was a character called Minori in a show called Noreen. It's NO-RIN. It's like pretty PG-13 with a couple questionable innuendo things, but yeah, it's slice of life, but also like people. I don't know. Anime characters like to be unnecessarily sexy, so.
I think it's fucking awesome. So kudos to you. That's badass.
Oh, he found it.
I'm the one with the snot-colored hair. The closest to the. I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see. The one closest to her purple hair on the right hand side.
Nice.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have Dave's
Oh,
stuff?
okay.
that we can pimp, Dave. We can find him on.
He's not here.
Well, I mean, I always like to pimp. I'll put it in there. You got Children of Dave. You got to check out his stuff on Instagram. You can also find him on the web and other places. I link it in the description. We love his work. We love his creations.
Oh yeah, we're working on it. We're working on the short movie version.
Yes. That trailer y'all put out the other day was fucking
that was
awesome.
Great.
That was fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, and let us know if you need anything. We will help out in any way we can, but we are super excited that you guys are taking steps in the direction to get that done. So
also kind of in the style of found footage. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I was crawling around in the woods a lot for that one.
So coming up on Camp/Horrorcast, thank you. Camp/Horrorcast, we have on the 11th, They Live, which is Ethan's birthday pick. After that, on the 18th, we'll do Dead Alive, which is my birthday pick. And then on the 25th, we'll do Drag Me to Hell, which is one of Jake's favorite movies. So definitely going to check those out.
I might. Okay, yeah, we can watch that one.
You want to change it?
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
We'll talk about that later.
Definitive tomorrow.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Okay. Also, you can check us out on We Are Podcast, where we have... We Are Podcast.podbean.com, where we have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, that's Hobbs. We're breaking down pop culture. We Are Bagu, a video game podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Reverend Dr. Professor Ethan Eastwood breaking down video game lore. Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. We will be putting out the holiday special here soon, and we'll be playing some more D&D now that we got our character sheets. Sorry again, Will. After that, we have I Hate Being Sober, which is personal stories from epic people. I just put out one with me and Javi. We talked about him growing up in the city. It's a great listen. You got to go check that one out. Javi is just full-blown Javito in it. It's hysterical. And finally, you can find us here every Monday. The Discord. Yes, the Discord. Join our Discord. Link will be in the description. You do see it there too. And then finally, we'll be here every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time for Camp/Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past. Everyone, thank you for being here. Lynsey, thank you for being our special guest today. We really do appreciate it. Yes.
Woo, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Yes. Will's going up. Everyone, keep horror in your heart. Please keep horror in your heart. With that said, Ethan, please cut the feed before Will gets killed by the Blair Witch.
And there it is. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, that's Javi. We're breaking down pop culture, and we're having a blast. And don't forget, We Are Bagu, a video game podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood. We're breaking down all that video game lore. Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D and we're having so much fun. I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people, where I sit down with some of my favorite people on this planet. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. And finally, Camp/Horrorcast. That's our weekly video cast. Join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time on Twitch as we break down our favorite horror movies from the past. Check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. And don't forget to join our Discord. All links can be found in the description. With that said, thank you again for checking out the podcast today. We truly hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please share with your friends. That's the only way we can grow this channel. With that said, we'll see you on the next one.